Hey everybody, I have my toddler in daycare finally, which means I actually have a bit of time to make some videos. Oh my god. I don't often do like reviews of things. Every now and then I thought I would do this because so many people keep asking me, what do I think of the Wednesday show on Netflix? Have I seen it? Especially what do I think of the dance scene? As a child, the early 90s Addams Family and Addams Family Values films were two of my favorite films. I had them taped off the TV and I watched them over and over and over until I probably knew the script off by heart. Those have always been a bit precious to me, and that's still to this day my favorite version of the Addams Family of its many incarnations. But I approached this Wednesday show with the understanding that it would be something new and fresh and different, and I was excited because it was a Tim Burton project, his first foray into television. I think you can probably tell by glancing at me that I grew up on a diet of Tim Burton films. It's not really 100% a Tim Burton thing. The show has multiple directors and writers, but I was still a bit nervous because as much as I love Tim Burton, I don't love all his films. He sometimes removes the mystery from mysterious characters, like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where he gave Willy Wonka a backstory. I can't help but feel that the early 90s films did have a big influence on this show though. I feel like Wednesday's character was very similar to that, but obviously there was influences also from the 60s Addams Family TV show, the comics too, I think the original comics. As for Wednesday herself, the actress Jenna Ortega, I think she nailed it. I do. Honestly, that is my honest opinion. I think she nailed it. I think she was perfect. I heard she put a lot of effort into mastering the role, including taking cello lessons. The dance sequence was impressive and very cool. All of a sudden, all these people were watching my How Goths Dance video saying, oh, I bet Jenna Ortega got inspiration from this video, but I mean, I don't actually think she did, but it was great. That scene, I think, has become iconic. The character though, she's definitely not very nice, but all good, well-written characters need flaws. So she's not a Mary Sue, as they call it. She's selfish, rude, uncaring, and uses people. It's obvious that Wednesday's character and style, her fashion, has had a big trend influence on young girls, especially young ladies. I've seen a lot of people looking for frilly black dresses all of a sudden. She's also really good at just about everything, which is pretty cool. Unarmed combat, fencing, writing. She's very smart. She speaks several languages. It makes me hope that it will inspire other young ladies to get good at stuff too. And speaking of getting good at stuff, it's time for a word from this video's sponsor. If you'd like to learn another language, then Babbel is the #1 language learning app in the world. Whether you want to become fluent or just learn a bit for a trip, Babbel can teach you to read, speak, and listen in lots of new languages. There are lessons made by real teachers, videos, games, podcasts, and even live online classes you can take part in. I've been using it to improve and keep my German fresh.
Glück haben.
Glück haben. Just for a few minutes every evening before bed, and that's all it takes. It teaches you real-world conversations, unlike other language learning apps, how to say things you might actually need. You get 2 free classes with your subscription, and Babbel offers a 20-day money-back guarantee, though they say it's been scientifically proven to get you started in a new language in only 3 weeks. Learning a new language unlocks a whole new world of friends, relationships, jobs, and opportunities. Language learning has always been one of my favorite things. Over 10 million people already use Babbel. Click the link below this video for a massive 60% off, and you can start using Babbel right away to get good at stuff. Anyway, carrying on. I think it was extremely cute that Christina Ricci, the 90s Wednesday that we all love and know, was given a role in the show. It was really buzzy to watch, but cool that she was there. I also thought it was nice to see actress Gwendolyn Christie looking so feminine and beautiful compared to her famous role as Brienne of Tarth. The show's different from every other incarnation of the Addams Family because it's magic realism, which I did not expect. It's supernatural. It's set in a world where werewolves and vampires and sirens and gorgons are all real, and everyone just knows that. It almost makes the Addams Family seem kind of normal in comparison, almost. Other things I liked was the music. The score was really cool and often beautiful, and that cello cover of Paint It Black was beautiful, amazing. I've listened to it on Spotify a few times since. What I didn't like about the show, I found the whole Edgar Allan Poe theme of the school like a little bit obvious. Maybe that's just me. Like my initial reaction to a school for weirdos called Nevermore Academy made me roll my eyes. Obvious, just a bit like done already, you know what I mean? Like a bit overdone Poe. Anyway, and I'm afraid, unfortunately, I did not like Morticia. Sorry, Catherine Zeta-Jones. I don't think she was meant to be that likable, and as much as Catherine Zeta-Jones looks amazing as a goth, because who doesn't, her costume looked like just that, a costume. I didn't feel that she was Morticia, just dressed up as her. I thought there was no chemistry between Gomez and Morticia. It just wasn't there. I didn't believe they were as madly in love with each other as they say they are. It kind of felt fake. Here are Gomez and Morticia in the 90s versus this show to illustrate my point. A lot of people were annoyed at the casting of Luis Guzman as Gomez. I thought he was a good choice for that, and I could see why. It's because he kinda resembles the original comic Gomez. Not that Gomez or any of the characters had names in the comics. Fun fact. I think people were annoyed because he isn't classically handsome. We were all used to seeing a saucy Raul Julia and expected to see someone more like him. I mean, Raul Julia was incredible. His Gomez was suave but hilarious and very quotable, and again, iconic. In fact, I'm gonna link in the comments of this video just one of the best scenes ever. I mean, you've probably seen it, but it's great. But in the show, the character of Gomez was just a wholly different character. He was not like the other Gomez's that we're used to from the films or shows back in the day. He was just a totally different guy. Fiechter, Uncle Fiechter, was almost exactly the 60s Fiechter. He was perfect. But I did not buy that Gomez and Fiechter are brothers. It's fun that they look different because they do in the comics, for example, but they appear to have grown up in totally different countries. But in saying that, in other versions, Fiechter is Morticia's uncle rather than Gomez's brother, so Enid was cute. I think she's meant to be like a foil to Wednesday and an unlikely friend, but she didn't seem like a real person, if that makes sense. Like the way she talked was a bit contrived. Like no one talks like that. I've seen people criticize the show for not having enough horror in it. You have to consider that the show is made for young adults, and you do see quite a lot of gore and death. Like, it's pretty dark in parts. That's probably quite enough. Also consider that that's part of the mystery of the Addams family. You don't really see what they do or what makes them weird, just hints of it and stories, bits of weirdness here and there, the odd comment or reminiscence. The true weirdness of their lives is left to your imagination. Like I said before, I was nervous that Tim Burton might spoil this, overdevelop the characters. Maybe that's not the term I want anyway, but he didn't, and I hope it stays that way for season 2. I thought all the main characters were pretty good. They were well written, well rounded, well fleshed out, strong characters. The most important thing about any series or film is the story. Everything else could be beautiful or cool, but if there's no story, it will be shit. I liked the story. It was an engaging and well written mystery. It was a mystery, didn't expect that, with red herrings and misdirection and questions and a detective, of course. Everything a good mystery should have. I hadn't expected it to be a mystery, but I do love mysteries actually. A lot of things are mysteries that we don't realize that they are. It has you kind of trying to solve the puzzle along with the characters, so that's fun. There was a bit of a romantic subplot, which, you know, was sort of necessary for the main plot. Some people have said that they don't think it was that believable, but I can't really comment on that myself because it's been so long since I was a teenager that I guess I can't remember what teenage romance or feelings are like. So that's what I think. Overall, I enjoyed it. I've actually watched it twice. I watched it twice in English, and then I've started watching it again in German. Like I said, I'm trying to improve my German, and they say that when you're learning a language, you should watch or read something you're already familiar with, and having just watched that show twice, I thought, well, I'm familiar with it now, I'll watch it in German, and I'm not sick of it. It's good. I do recommend it. I genuinely enjoyed it. I was very nervous that I wouldn't, but I did. And do let us know in the comments if you've seen it and what you thought, and if you're looking forward to season 2, which I understand there will be one. Will you be watching it or not? Anyway, if you've not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. As always, take care of yourself, be nice to each other, stay creepy, kooky, mysterious, and spooky, and I'll see you next time. Bye.